Hello and welcome back to our channel. In this video, I'll show you the top 10 question or steps that could be in your next Excel job assessment test. So basically, this is part 2 of the video. I have published part 1 of the Excel assessment test. If you haven't watched that, I suggest you go and watch that first. Okay, so this is the same data as in my previous video and we will be working on this data. Here you can see the 10 steps that we need to complete. Let's jump in and start with the step number 1. So here in number 1, we need to fit the work table into a single page for printout. First, let's define the work table. The work table is the table that we are working with, of course, which does not include the steps for the assessment test. To do that, the best way to complete this part would be to select the print area. To select the print area, we need to first see how our document turns out. So in print preview, to do that we need to click file and then click on print. It shows print preview and you see that it does show our work table, but this might be misleading because there is a second page here which we don't need since there is a scroll bar on the right, and if we click the scroll bar we see this table. Ultimately the objective is to eliminate this table with the steps and purposes and only have monthly budget table selected. To do that, let's go back to our work document and we need to define the print area. We need to select the area that we will be working with, and I'll expand the area a little bit just in case. We need to add more values around our table, and I'll select the range between A1 to K19, and then I'll go to page layout tab, and this is where we define the print area. Here you see this button, so click on the print area button first and then select set print area. Now we have print areas defined, and let's go and verify our print area by navigating to file tab print. The shortcut to open print area is Ctrl P. As you can see, now we have only one page with our work table ready for printout. So this step number 1 is completed. Let me write completed here. And now let's move on to the step number 2. Here we need to center table header values. So table header is this row, row number 6. To center all these values, we need to select them and then click the center button, and that completes step number 2. I can write here completed. That was easy. Now let's move on to the step number 3. And in step number 3, we need to spell check the document. To do spell checking, we can go to review tab and there is a spelling button. So let's click spelling and it asks us, do you want to continue checking at the beginning of the sheet? And we say yes. Spell check is complete. Everything looks good. And now this will mark this step as complete. Let's go to step number 4. And in step number 4, we need to rename sheet 1 and call it assessment test. Sheet names are at the bottom left. So we have sheet 1 right here. To rename it, you can do it multiple ways. One way is right mouse click and click select rename. There is also the option of just double clicking on the sheet name and you can start typing right away. And it's easier option. That's kind of a shortcut. So we need to mark it as assessment test, and you can just click anywhere outside of this title and rename is completed, and we can mark step number 4 as complete. Let's continue to step number 5, and in step number 5 we need to add a new worksheet. This is very easy. There is a plus button that highlight and allow you to add a new worksheet. We just click on this and by default it's going to take the name sheet. I have added and deleted sheets in this workbook, that's why it's name like sheet 4 or 6, but there are no instruction of renaming it or anything. So just go back to assessment test and mark this step as complete. Let's continue to step number 6. And in step number 6 we need to create a column chart to show expenses for this data. To do that we need to select the area. Once we have selected all this area, we need to click insert tab, and here we see this option that says insert chart, and it asks us for a column chart, right? Here is the insert tab. We have this charts group and there are multiple options for charts. When we click this extension arrow, it shows 2D column or 3D columns. So we can, I guess, select any of those. It does not indicate which one you like. So the fancier looking ones are 3D columns. So if you like, you can select that. I'm going to just choose the basic one. And now the chart is inserted. There are no additional instruction what we need to do here. You certainly can play with this, but what I'm going to do, one important consideration is to make sure it fit into the print area. And the print area is highlighted already. You see it ends at this row. So I'm gonna make this chart a little bit smaller by resizing it and move it here. I'm gonna move it here into this area so it fits into print there, and make it even smaller so this way it fits into the print range area. We can mark this step number 6 as completed, and let's go and complete step number 7. And in step number 7, we need to change the width of column H and I so the content fit. You see that column H has total value by month hidden. That's what this sign means, that we don't see the whole value. To expand it, we just need to double click on the separator between column H and I, and that extend column. And the value is now fit in this column. Now we can mark this step as completed. Moving on to the step number 8, we need to bold all headings. Bold all headings and change heading font to 12 points. So first of all, let's define headings. Headings are is a range between B6 through Y6 in this data. So let's select it first. We need to make it bold by clicking the bold button. That's one way. In other way, if you do right mouse click button, and that's available here as well, right on the context sensitive menu. So let's choose it here, and then we will change the font size. Right now it's font 11. We will change it to font size 12. In this way, we can highlight and mark step number 8 as completed. Let's go to step number 9. And in step 9, we need to merge and center the table heading, monthly budget. So first, let's locate monthly budget. Monthly budget is in cell B4, and we need to merge and center this. To do that, we need to merge all the cells between B4 and I4. We need to highlight them, and then we need to click on this merge and center button. So this merge all the cells. Now it become one single cell. And I can also make it a little bit bigger, the font size, and it will behave as now as a single cell. We can mark step 9 as complete, and let's move on to step number 10. And that is to insert a pivot table showing all the monthly expenses. Well, that's a bit complicated, not so complicated, but let's work on it. To insert a pivot table, we need to select this area and then go to Insert tab. Here you see this option that says Pivot Table. We will click on it and hit OK. The pivot table is inserted on a new sheet. And here we can play around and put expenses in the row section and total in the column to see the data. But in our assessment test, they didn't define clearly what exactly we need to display on our pivot table. They just asked to insert a pivot table, and that's done. Alright, so that was it for today's video. If you found this video to be helpful, please make sure to click the like button and share it with your friends, and check video description to watch the first part of this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as we have a lot of great stuff planned in the pipeline, and I don't want you to miss any of it. See you next time.